Hi, what is up, everybody? Glad to be back with you today. I figured today was probably the day that I needed to return from the shadows, right? So for those of you who follow my channel, obviously I've been out for a little while with some medical issues. Definitely on the rebound, far better than I was originally. And so I figured today was kind of the day that I needed to make a few statements, right? So for those who don't know, basically we had a Black Swan event, essentially with Jasmy in particular, and it's related to this tweet right here. And I figured, I can't just sit idly by and watch the house burn down on misinformation. And so that's what I'm attempting to do here is put forth, what I know to be true and kind of, cut through all the BS, right? That's kind of what I'm trying to do. So we had this tweet come out from Binance, and Binance obviously is the biggest centralized exchange in the whole world for the crypto market, that said that they were going to move the following assets to the, quote, Innovation Zone. Now, what the Innovation Zone even is, I don't even think CZ knows, because in the comments, it kind of sounds like he doesn't even know what it is, right? But some of the coins that are going in here, there's a bunch of random ones that I have never heard of before. There's a few that I have heard of that are from failed centralized exchanges, right? So the FTT token, this is the token that CZ and Binance famously dumped, which caused FTX to go bankrupt, which, ultimately was FTX's fault for the way that they were hedging everything. But regardless, it's a token from a failed exchange, okay? Why it's even still listed, baffling, no idea. Whoever invests in that's just going to get ripped off. But we're moving that to the Innovation Zone, okay? Another one in here, VGX, right? I used to love VGX. I thought Voyager had potential. Now, granted, every time I talked about it, the community was never really embracing. I do have to admit that. And so I still invested in it anyway. I thought it had a lot of potential just because of the usability of the platform. And again, they were severely over-leveraged, mismanaged, and the whole thing went belly up, down in flames, dumpster fire, right? So VGX, in the meantime, and Voyager was actually supposed to be purchased by Binance US, and I actually received notice I think in this past week that they bailed out of that deal. So they are not purchasing Voyager or their assets. And so here we have another dead centralized exchange token that is in the Innovation Zone, right? So what does that mean for Jasmy? Why is Jasmy getting moved to the Innovation Zone? And let me say that, I'm going to be bouncing around a little bit in this video. I don't really have this well organized. I just kind of want to move around through all these various tweets and kind of, give you my thoughts on this thing. It's just been kind of a train wreck of a day, I would say, which is hilarious. This is the hilarious part about all of this, is that just a couple of days ago, today's the 10th, on May 8th, we cracked the top 100, right? For the first time. A few days before that, we passed the 200-day moving average, which hadn't been done ever, okay? So we're riding on a high of really, really good news, okay? We had this post here with the Sagan Tosu soccer team, right? With the Jasmy logo. There it is. These guys have Jasmy on their uniform. I think it's on the back of it is where it shows up, right? Here's the team again. And basically, this whole event here was sponsored by Jasmy. And by all accounts, it looks like everyone had a lot of fun. I mean, that's a lot of people that are at the event, right? That just happened. So a lot of good things. We had this that just happened, okay? The Blockchain Expo 2023 Tokyo. Check this out. There's Jasmy, right? They have an entire booth. They've got people in here. It's a live, active demonstration, right? So all that stuff was going on. Now, what I think led to all of it is this right here. So there was a post that came out from Hara, and he says, there are 7 Jasmy-related pairs on Binance. 2 of them are being delisted for low liquidity, okay? So I went to the Binance Post. Here it is. where they say that they are going to remove Jasmy BNB and Jasmy ETH. Okay. Now, I am not a centralized exchange builder. I'm not a developer. I'm not an engineer. But in my rudimentary understanding of this, I imagine that there's an infrastructure and it's only so big, right? And to allow in other coins, other trading pairs, there's probably some sort of limit on trading pairs, right? And it's not just infinite, okay? So I'm assuming that's why they're doing this, to make room for potentially other trading pairs. Now, what I want to show you is what these pairs look like. So it's Jasmy BNB and Jasmy Ethereum, okay? So if we come over here to CoinMarketCap, what is this? Accept all cookies. Yeah, great. And this is where some of the ironic part, the irony is in this, is that CZ and Binance own CoinMarketCap. This is under their umbrella, right? So if we look here at the various markets that trade Jasmy, the ones that they are delisting is Jasmy Ethereum, so this one right here, and Jasmy BNB. Now, ironically, when you look at the 24-hour volume, Jasmy BNB is at 408,000, right? And Jasmy Ethereum's at 785,000, which it isn't like a small amount. I mean, that's still a pretty big amount. When you look at the other Binance trading pairs, obviously there's a lot more volume that comes through there, right? Primarily, the number one is the USDT, the Tether trading pair. This one, Try, I think that's the Turkish lira, I think is what that one was. There's BUSD, the Bitcoin trading pair, etc. And what that means essentially is that if you had this other coin, you could trade it and get Jasmy. That's all it is, right? And so when you're looking at the volume in here, there's quite a lot of volume overall that rolls through Binance in particular, okay? So I want to go back over to Twitter and kind of show you back to my feed here, because I was pretty active this morning. When I saw this, I thought, what the heck is going on? Like, this is such a crypto thing, right? Anytime you think you got it all figured out, there's always some sort of colossal market manipulation that sort of comes out of left field. And, it's funny because everybody sells you on this thing about decentralization, right? Decentralization. Bitcoin isn't decentralized, right? All the mining is highly centralized. This is a good example of where the exchange volume and the bulk of the coins are highly centralized, which is interesting, right? So I actually responded to CZ about this, and this was my post. So I said, has anyone on your team actually researched Jasmy? Because honestly, I don't think they have, right? I said, it's really bad policy. You're directly influencing the market, undercutting a real project because of low volume and trading pairs. Did you see the booth? Did you see the soccer team? Did you see Secure PC, right? Do you know who Ando is? Any of these things at all, right? And then I mentioned, the FTT and the VGX. I went on, right? Because I was still annoyed. Still annoyed. Here we go. So, I mentioned that about the Innovation Zone, right? We talked about that. They actually just listed shitcoin Pepe, right? Pepe the Frog. This thing is completely bogus, okay? I've been watching its astronomical rise, and yes, it could do a SHIB. It could go all the way to the top 10. I am not discounting that. But just like SHIB, the founders are completely anonymous. No one knows who the hell they are. This could be anybody, okay? I used to say with SHIB that SHIB could be the greatest rug pull of all time because they're anonymous, right? This isn't open source software that somebody's putting out there for the greater good. This is a meme scam to build wealth for a certain few parties, right? And so that's exactly what Pepe is. And whoever started it, genius, because they took the frog that's in a million memes here in crypto and they turned it into a coin. But if you go to the CoinMarketCap on it, they're completely anonymous. And the best part here, The bogus supply is 420, 69, and a bunch of zeros. This is a complete garbage coin, right? Funny thing is, along these same lines, I saw a post from BitBoy promoting Ben. Ben apparently is another one, right? Obviously, BitBoy's first name is Ben. And they got a little picture of Ben the dog, and it has the exact same supply of Pepe, right? So that's just the market that we're in right now, is that these crazy meme coins are all the rage, right? And whether they actually have any value or not, to be determined. What SHIB did was kind of crazy when it came out. But one thing is, if you go back to the beginning and you look at Doge, Billy Marcus is the founder of Doge. And guess what? Billy Marcus is on Twitter. You can find him. You actually know who he is, right? We have no idea who did SHIB. We don't know who did Pepe. It's one meme coin with anonymous founders after another, right? So just one colossal scam. And, for everybody who sinks in 5 and walks away with 40, there's a lot of people that got completely ripped off and lost all their money, right? So, you're not going to find me peddling one of these meme coins, which is what drives me crazy, though. On the flip side here is that Binance has no problem listing those, right? But here's a real project that you're delisting. And, I've been thinking about this, that my hunch here is that I think the delisting trading pairs is what sort of raises the red flags, and then they just move it, right? Without any research whatsoever. I know a lot of people in the community want to think or want to believe that CZ knows all about Jasmy. And maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. I don't know. Binance is just now getting back into the Japanese market because it was one of the hardest markets in the entire world to operate a crypto business. Now, how do they do that? Well, they purchased the Sakura exchange, and they changed it now to Binance Japan. All right. So he's new into this Japanese market. Now, I do know he's taught the business class over there in Japan. He's done that. So he does have ties to Japan. But how many ties he may or may not have to Jasmy, it's never been substantiated anywhere. And, even in my posts here that, have, 139 likes, 200 likes, I've yet to get a single response from him. Now, I would say I have seen one of the Jasmy guys in the community, Crypto Vivian, DB Cooper, Crypto. I've seen you, and I whatever reason, CZ responds. So maybe you need to post about this, right? Because, he's not responding to me because obviously I've made a lot of really good points here, and it probably makes him look bad. So ironically, in all of that, I've always been a strong believer in CZ, and I've thought that he's, for the most part, tried to do the right thing. But I think here, this is simply the people who work for CZ or the system in the background carrying out an order without any thought. Okay, so what I see going on here, it started with the Binance US delisting. So as I mentioned here in my post, that one delisted because that trading pair was less than 1/3 of 1% of all volume. Okay, they delisted them without any notice whatsoever. Right. This one here, again, both of these trading pairs, really low volume. So they're delisting. So you got multiple delistings here through the same roughly company, right? I know they're two different companies, Binance US and Binance. But all combined, let's say we got 3 delistings there. Now, Jasmy has never been delisted anywhere else. This is a unique thing to Binance, that Binance is taking this upon themselves to just go ahead and delist it and lump it in with these trashy shit coins, right? That's what they're doing here. And so for somebody like me, I mean, I've been following this thing for years. I've never been paid one dime by anybody at Jasmy. Our team, all of us across social media, there are so many people in this thing now that have done so much research. There is so much to learn here, right? Now, there are things with Jasmy that I've always said drive me crazy. I'll say it again. They still need a marketing manager. I saw the post the other day that Hara liked that said it'll be at, 2 cents in a year from now. And everyone was like, what the hell, right? I get it, okay? Should he have liked that post? Probably not. Did he realize that he was going to upset the investor community? I don't think so. I think that he simply liked the post, and that's it. There probably wasn't any more thought than that. But this is where somebody, if they had a marketing background, not a accounting background, could look at that and say, maybe this isn't the best PR. Maybe we need to look for the best pieces to retweet. And I'm sure he probably does that by and large, but there's one that he retweeted that people were kind of put off by, right? So again, the community needs a marketing manager, somebody in marketing, a marketing background, a marketing degree, anybody with marketing. A lot of other teams do this exact position, and they hire a marketing person. Jasmy has had Hara, who's the CFO, that, to my knowledge, I don't know a single other CFO that's a marketer. And then they had the guy on the banking side as well, that he had a marketing description on their website at one point in time. And again, not a marketer. Okay. So they need somebody in marketing. Have they had a few red flags here and there? Yeah, they have. Okay. We had the FUD, the ICO FUD that never occurred. Okay. That was a red flag. Sure. You could argue that back and forth, but it never happened. So maybe not a red flag, not a true one, right? But it's something that's come up. I got to be honest, some of the stuff with Jasmy Grant is a pivot from their original strategy. When I first saw it, I didn't understand it. I said, what does this have to do with secure PC? You really have to go back to one of the most recent AMAs that Hara did with Tycho and the Jasmy International Discord, where he said that there are two lines here. There's one line with Ando that basically is following the secure PC and the laptops, etc. And there is another line that's cryptocurrency, blockchain, that's sort of delving into the blockchain space. And I've said it quite a few times that I think maybe some of these bumps in the road are because this is a team that's from like a corporate Sony real software world. This is not a blockchain team. This is not a group of friends. It's not a hackathon group. It's not a group that got together after binge drinking at Bitcoin 2023 and spending 40 grand on backstage passes and a really bad Cuban sandwich. That's not who this is, right? So they're not like your typical. When you usually research blockchain projects, I mean they're just not that. Okay, that's not their bread and butter, I think is what I'm trying to say. But as time has gone on, they've had to get more and more involved into the blockchain space, which that explains the pivot towards Jasmy Grant. Now, I would also say on the red flag front that there's a few accounts that have cropped up on Twitter that look totally bogus to me, okay? And some of them are retweeting some Jasmy stuff. Whether they're true or not, I have nothing to say one way or the other, but I do know that there's a lot of frauds that come out of my account, and they make it look like they've got a ton of followers and they were just created yesterday. So it's pretty easy to fake an account on Twitter and make it look like it's a real thing, okay? But going back to real things, this is the kind of thing that reels me in. Jasmy just had another patent go through just the other day that improved on encryption, where they took one key to make a second key out of the first key and further increase security, right? So Jasmy has numerous patents in this project. They have real-world software in secure PC. They have real-world partnerships with Avita, with Vio. There are numerous companies that were mentioned, Intel, Microsoft, on the recent trip that Hara did to Hong Kong, right? So those are all in there. And I know from all of the research that the community has done as a whole, I follow all of it. I've got people messaging me all day, every day. I'm in the Discord, all these things. There is a lot going on behind the scenes. And so I think, again, as it's always been, there's a disconnection in the language barrier. There's maybe a disconnection a little bit in just how they do things in Japan versus other countries, right? All of those things play into this. But going back to the Black Swan event, it's very ironic because basically, let's say 3 trading pairs total, the Binance US and then these two. that had no volume that are causing this delisting, and therefore moving Jasmy into the innovation zone is just bizarre. I honestly think Jasmy is probably an outlier in whatever the process is that Binance has set up behind the scenes. And clearly the process doesn't work, because this is a great example of, there's numerous coins that you're kind of lumping them in here with that are complete garbage, that people are just going to get ripped off and burned. And this is a real one that you're moving over into this, innovation zone. So anyway, I think it's bad policy. I think on behalf of Binance and CZ, CZ needs to step back and take a look in the mirror and realize that he's manipulating the market. This is really reminiscent of some of the things that Elon does, where he, posts out, the Doge leader or something like that, and then all of a sudden Doge takes off, right? Or he puts a little Doge logo on, SpaceX, and yeah, look at this, we're going to the moon, and all of a sudden Doge takes off. That is market manipulation. Like, I understand you're having a little fun thing, but that's market manipulation, right? What CZ is doing, he actually is in the market, and then he's manipulating it. Like something like this, if I equated this to like the stock market, it would never fly, ever. And this is part of what's unique in crypto, is that, it's sort of this gray area, Wild West. And yeah, I still think Gary Gensler is completely full of crap. Don't like him at all. He's awful, bad for business. But there's a better way to do this, right? If you're going to delist a project, if you're going to move it, if you're going to somehow do something that's going to impact the community, you need to think twice about that before you just do it, right? So right now they did it. They created this red swan event, black swan event, sea of red. We're down 23% on the day. Is life over? Absolutely not. Of course not. And is Binance still the largest holder of the coins? Yes. Do all the other Binance pairs make a ton of money? Yes. Did these Binance pairs that are getting delisted make a ton of money? This is ironic too. Yes, they did. They make way more money than a lot of the different exchanges Jasmy's been listed on. And, what they're not accounting for is that Jasmy is unique because it purposefully tried to get listed on every exchange possible with as many trading pairs as possible. So just doing common sense math, there's only so many slices in the pie, right? Not every slice is going to be a big slice, okay? But the Binance way of thinking here is that this little sliver of the pie slice that was a lower trading pair is room to move this thing into the realm of trashy shit coins. I don't get it at all. It makes no sense to me. And in the meantime, they're going to go ahead and list Pepe, complete garbage. Floki's going on there. That one's another one that's crap. If you want to get in them, look, here's what I told other people. I said, this is crypto, and there's a difference between investing and gambling. When you're investing, you're doing your DCA, you're doing research. When you're gambling, you're just taking $5,000, throwing it out there, see what happens, right? There's both in crypto, and both have a place. And if you want to be on the gambling side, there's a lot of that right now. So there's some people that are posting that they're making big money. There's a lot of people that are losing big money. So whatever side of that you want to be on, go right ahead. Completely up to you. I personally, I don't like the gambling side, right? It's just not for me. I'd rather go the research. I'd rather go the slow and steady. And that's I think the underlying message of what's frustrating with what transpired is that there's a lot of us that have done a ton of research here. And it's very frustrating to have a highly centralized entity that's done none impact the price. So that's it. Jesse out. I'll see you on the next one.